it's Alexis. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what you can do with your leftover breast milk. So when I first had my little girl, as many of you know, I was engorged. I had so much extra milk, and I wish that I had been more diligent about keeping some of that milk and learning how to use my haka, because I didn't do anything with it. I either froze it, which is fine, or I just dumped it, which is terrible to say, because now that I am 6 months postpartum, there are so many things that I wish I could be using even the expired breast milk for, and now I can't because I didn't save it. So there are a few different reasons why you could have extra breast milk. So maybe you had a freezer stash and your baby is no longer breastfeeding and they're no longer having milk. You will have leftover breast milk. Maybe you were engorged like I was. Maybe you thawed way too much breast milk out and now you don't know what to do with the leftovers. Maybe your baby just didn't finish their bottle. So there's so many different reasons as to why you could have leftover or extra breast milk. And then you're left saying, like, what do I do with it? I've come to find that this statement is so true. So I've heard time and time again that breast milk is like liquid gold. And as I'm like getting to know how to use breast milk more, I cannot believe how amazing and powerful it is. Just something that I learned the other day was when our babies get sick, our bodies make these different antibodies to help them fight off the sickness. Like, how does our body even know? I think it's insane and crazy. So anyway, today I'm going to be sharing with you different ways that you can reuse your breast milk. So the first thing that you can do if you have definitely an oversupply of milk is donate. And I know that you have heard this 100 times over, but I wish that I knew more about this in the beginning. So maybe you're pregnant right now and you're preparing for postpartum. This is really important to know that you can do. My midwife did not tell me until 6 weeks postpartum that I could be donating this to the NICU. And what's funny was I was even in the NICU and they mentioned to me that there was donor milk that I could possibly get signed up for my daughter. We didn't end up needing it. I just was able to supplement with a little bit of formula for a few days, but I didn't realize that that was even an opportunity. So make sure that you look into that. You can go to your local NICU, your local hospital, and they will give you more information on that. But I just think that's an amazing thing to do, especially if you have an oversupply and you're not looking to build a freezer stash. The second thing that you can do with your breast milk is freeze it for later and use it for things like when baby starts solids. So my daughter is now 6 months old and I have a small freezer stash, nothing crazy. Like I said, I wish I had more, but now that she's starting solids, I need it actually. And I'm gonna have to start pumping to give her that milk. So when you're making different purees, if you plan on making your own baby food, or even if you're just going to add it to some rice cereal, you need that extra breast milk so you can use it here. The next thing that absolutely amazed me with breast milk is it can be used for clogged tear duct. So when my daughter was about 2 months old, she just had this weird like runny eye thing. It wasn't really swollen, it wasn't really red, but I brought her to the doctor because, you know, of course, first time parent, didn't really know what it was, and it's her eyes and I didn't want anything to be wrong with her, you know, so I go to the pediatrician and she's just like, oh, it's just a clogged tear duct. They normally clear up by 6 months, and sure enough, it did. But I think what helped was I actually put a few drops of breast milk in it every single day for about a week, and then I didn't notice anything. It was great. So definitely give that a try. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't, but I definitely found that it worked and it was super helpful and it was easy. I just took one of those little droppers and I just put a couple drops in her eye and that was it. And it, like I said, it healed within about a week. Number 4 is use it on diaper rashes. So let's say your little one gets a diaper rash and normally you put Desitin or something like that on it. You can actually use breast milk. Now, I did say, yes, you can use it for diaper rashes, but I want you to know you can use it for any kind of rash you see. And this was something I actually just tried the other day. So I am allergic to different scents and actually different like detergents. And so I had used a brand new detergent, didn't know how my body was going to react, and I got a rash underneath my arm. And it was super hot and red and itchy. And I tried everything under the sun. Nothing was making it go away. So I actually tried my daughter's breast milk. And within an hour, the itching was gone, the swelling was gone, and the next day the redness was completely gone, and you could tell it was healing. So this stuff is, like I said, amazing. It's like liquid gold. So do not get rid of it. Make sure to keep it for situations like this, even if it's expired. Number 5, use this for baby acne. So my daughter, when she was born, she definitely had some baby acne. They would just like randomly pop up, and you'll know it's baby acne because it'll like randomly show up, and then within a day or two it'll go away. Well, to make those go away faster, take just a little bit of breast milk. It can even be like after you're done nursing, you can just take like the little bit that like gets left over and just dot it on the little spots, and within like an hour they were gone. It's amazing. So definitely keep that in mind. The other thing that you can use breast milk for is bug bites. So we went on a trip and my daughter got bit by a mosquito on her little toe, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And I looked it up and they said use breast milk. So I used it, and I'm not even kidding you, it didn't swell, nothing. So definitely keep that in mind. And you don't just have to use breast milk on your baby, you can use it on your older children too. It is amazing. Number 7, use breast milk for cradle cap. So what I did when my daughter was about, I would say like 6 weeks old, she started having a little bit of cradle cap. It actually more happened like in the middle of her forehead here. And it was just because her skin was really dry. And she did get, I guess, a little bit on her head, but more just like in between her forehead there. And so I just took like a little bit of breast milk and I put it on there and I let it sit. And then when I took a bath, or I gave her a bath, I put some all over her scalp, and then I washed her hair, and it did amazing. It was within a couple days, it all cleared up. So definitely try it for that as well. Number 8, so if you are still breastfeeding, or maybe you're still pumping and your little one has already weaned, you want to make teething pops. So you can either get, there's this little, I'll insert a picture here, this little thing that looks like a binky, but it's actually for like breast milk or water or whatever, and so then they can suck on it. It's super, super awesome. So I would grab one of these. You can do that. You can also put these into, they have like little, almost looks like little ice cube trays, and you could use those as well. So use them as teething pops. Babies love them. It is something that's comforting, but it's also cold to help soothe, their gums as they're going through that tough time. Number 9, use them on your stretch marks. Interesting, I know. I have very, 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 very bad stretch marks. Stretch marks run in my family, and on top of that, I was really small before I got pregnant, and then I just carried all belly, and so the stretch marks were crazy. And I actually put some of this on to try, and it definitely helped. I wouldn't say that it was like the number one thing that helped to get rid of my stretch marks, but it was very helpful. So I still apply this every once in a while when I have some extra. Maybe, I've pumped and we use some in some solids, and now I have leftover. I will use it, like I said, on my stretch marks and stuff. And you can even use expired breast milk on yourself. Just remember that it doesn't have to be good. You'll want to go to, I'm going to link it below, where you can look at if your milk has been expired or not. This is something that in the NICU they explained to me, and they sent me to this resource here. It's very helpful. It'll tell you if you leave breast milk out on the counter for more than 5 hours, it's expired. If you left it in the freezer, I think for like 6 months, it's expired. So you can kind of know that, but remember that any of these topical things you can use on yourself with expired breast milk. Okay, so the last thing that you can do with your extra breast milk is put it on sunburns. It works wonders, I'm telling you. Like I said, we went on a trip and I had super bad sunburn. I always get it like on my nose and like right in here, and I actually just dabbed some on the bridge of my nose. I'm like, I'm curious if this will work, and it did. Like, it took the burning away. It was amazing. So try that on your little one if they get, a little red. It definitely will help to just soothe it, and yeah, it's amazing. Try it yourself too. It's just interesting to see how amazing and powerful this stuff is. So now let's say that you have breast milk that you know is expired and you don't know what to do with it. There are a few things that you should do. So let's just give some scenarios. So maybe you pumped for your baby, you left it out on the counter, and you forgot to put it away. Now it's expired, you can't let baby drink it, but you don't want to get rid of it because it still has those amazing benefits behind it. Maybe you've just given your baby a bottle and they didn't finish it, and you know that you can't reheat it again, so now you have leftover. Or maybe your freezer stash has gone bad and now you have leftover. So all these things are going to be what you can use those for. So the first thing is use your extra breast milk for cuts and scrapes and freeze it. Make sure that you freeze it. So even if let's just say you gave your baby that bottle, they didn't finish it, and now you have leftover, take a ice cream tray, this is my tip here, and put the leftover in there and make sure you label it for cuts and scrapes, or just put expired on there. Because like I said, this can still be used, you just wouldn't want your baby to ingest it. The next thing that you can use it for is a bath. So this is great, again, if your baby has, a rash, if they have baby acne, if they have the cradle cap, like any of this, you can put it actually in the bath water and it's really soothing. I've actually done this once, and like I said earlier, it was actually for cradle cap and it worked amazingly. So definitely give this a try. I just added, I think it was like 1 ice cube tray, well, not tray, but the one little ice cube thingy, and I put it right into the bath and let it kind of sit around in there until it melted, and then put her in, and it was no different. It was great. The next thing you can use it for is sore nipples. So after you are breastfeeding, especially in the beginning, you're probably going to be really sore. And something that I did right away was I would put like the remaining breast milk, because like after she would nurse, there would still be like a little bit there. So I would kind of just like rub it in and let it air dry for a second. And I, knock on wood right now, I have not yet had any cracking. I've not had really overly sore or red nipples. Occasionally when she kind of goes through like a nursing a nursing like cluster, where she cluster feeds a lot, that's when it'll happen. But I mean, really, I haven't had any issues, so I think that that's working. And the last thing that you can do with your expired breast milk is make lotion. There is a recipe that I will link below. It is amazing, and you absolutely have to try it. It's awesome. I think it's so cool that you can put it in lotion, and then you can put it on your baby, you can put it on you, and you can even use it for things like the diaper rash or the acne or a rash or any of these things, and it just helps to soothe the skin. Alrighty, y'all, so that is gonna wrap up everything that you can do with your extra and leftover breast milk. If there's something that I didn't mention that you've done with your breast milk, comment below, because I would like to either add it to this list or help other mamas who are going to be watching this in the future. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this every Wednesday, make sure you subscribe. Alrighty, y'all, I'll see you next week.